Hey guys, Chris the Ultimate Recycler. Welcome back to the channel. This video is just a follow-up of a recent e-waste unboxing I did. There was some vintage electronics stuff. So I've got 3 items that I put on eBay. Now in that video, and I'll link it underneath, I guessed at some of the prices. We ended up doing really well out of it, but there's some stuff here that could do better. So we're going to run it through eBay. We'll follow the auctions and we'll just see how it pans out. Here's the items in question. We had some valves, some radio valves or tubes for you guys in the States. These ones are 6GW8s. I think they're new old stock, but it's a bit hard to tell. And these ones are ECC83s, which are the same, I believe, as a 12AX7. That won't mean anything to most of you. They are an amplifier valve, and they're quite sought after. And I have 6 there. I'm not sure if they're new old stock or not. The boxes are a little beaten up, but they all are the original valves, and I've actually tested them on my valve tester and they test out quite fine. I didn't test these ones because my valve tester didn't list this valve in its data, so we'll take a bit of a punt on those. Those ones I suspect will go quite well, and I'm estimating about $100 for those, and I think I'll start them at $100. I was going to start them at $50. We'll start them at 100. I think we'll start those 2 at 30. And the rest of the stuff is, look, it took me a while to identify. This was all in the bottom of a box of e-waste. There's this electric motor, which is a very good quality one, I believe. It's a Pabst brand, a German motor. And I thought it was too big for a turntable. It turns out it's most likely from a reel-to-reel tape player, as all these parts are. So I eventually identified it. Based on searching Google Images for 60s era reel-to-reel, and I kind of matched up the look of the knobs, and I think it belongs to a Tandberg Model 12, although that particular one had slightly different VU meters, so I don't know, but that's what I'm going to list it at, and we'll see how we go. And here's my eBay page with these 3 current items listed. They've been up for about 2 or 3 hours. The reel-to-reel parts, I did actually, because I added the transformer later, I didn't include it in my main picture. It's had no views, no watches, and no bids at this stage. I run all my auctions for 10 days, and it gives, I think, the best chance for people around the world to find it. So that's all the parts there, and I've put the, let's click on this and scroll through the pictures. I've tried to include angles of everywhere that I can to show them what parts there are. Some of the stuff's going to be sought after, and some of it probably won't be. I'm thinking the motor should be quite valuable, and if for some reason I can't sell this on eBay for any price, I think I'll keep the motor. I did test it. It runs beautifully and quiet. Too good to go in the scrap. So there we go. I've included various model numbers and all the stickers and things, and also the transformer. So it's presented well enough, I think. Hopefully someone that either restores these units or has one for themselves and wants some spare parts, hopefully they see value in this. We'll scroll down to the description so you can have a look at what I've written. You can freeze the video if you want to read that. I try to describe things as accurately as I can, and I think if you write something that's a little bit more than just one sentence, I think it helps bidders gain confidence with buying off you as an eBay seller. I might do some videos on how to eBay successfully one day. I've been eBaying for over 20 years, and I think presenting items well with good photos and a decent description makes a really big difference. Let's go and have a look at the other ones. If we click the back button a few times, we shall get back to our page. Here we go. So the valves, I put those 2 6GW8 valves on there. I decided to start them at 50. I mentioned in a recent video that I sometimes couldn't be bothered packaging something and going down to the post office and recording it in my business income and everything else for under $50. So hopefully we find someone that sees value in these valves for 50. If they don't sell after the 10-day auction period, I'll probably just list them as a buy it now and leave them sit on eBay until they sell. It doesn't cost any more fees to do that, and I've done quite well with books over the years doing that. The other ones have had some interest already. They've had 5 views. There's actually 2 watches on them. These valves, from my research, seem to be more sought after. I'll just click on this so you can read the description. And yeah, I've also referred to my YouTube channel, so people can go and have a look at me actually pulling these out of a box. And whether that helps or not, I don't know, but it might encourage a few more people to follow me on YouTube. So there we go. I've listed any information I know. I've said that they're possibly new old stock, but I don't know for sure. And I said the same on the other ones as well. So there we go. We'll leave those 3 run. We'll maybe check in after 5 days and give you an update and see how they're going. And we'll film the end of the auction, because sometimes that can be really exciting. Back to these eBay auctions now. We're a bit over halfway through. We've had 6 days. There's 4 days and a couple of hours left. As you can see, there's no interest in these Tandberg reel-to-reel tape player parts. It's had 25 views, so at least some people are finding the auction. But there's been no watches, no bids. So we might be fishing in a pond with no fish here. But anyway, I think if it doesn't sell, I think I will leave it, just sit as a buy it now for a while. Gives people a chance to find it. Because remember, someone might be searching for these parts. This is only a 10-day window of opportunity running the auction, whereas I can leave it sit as a buy it now, and it can actually recycle for a few months. Much more likely to find someone that says, oh, I could use those. The next one, our 2 valves here, our 6 GW8s. We've had 26 views. There are 6 watches. No bids as yet, but at least some people are finding it. I think they're probably a little expensive, but they were in very good condition, although we could not test them, as I said. But again, if they don't sell, I think we'll leave them cycle a few times. And the amplifier valves, have a look at this. Bids received, will sell, $140. 145 views, 21 watches with 3 bids. So it's gone from $100 to $40 to $140 in 3 bids. I'm very happy with that. I don't expect that to go any higher. But as I said, there's still 4 days and a few hours left. So we'll tune in right at the end and see if there's any snipers on that one. And we'll see if we've snagged any fish from these 2. Dying stages of this listing now. There's only 20 seconds to go. There's been 41 views, but there's no watches and no bids. So I'll be very surprised if there's a sniper here. Just 10 seconds to go. Look, it's something that is difficult to sell unless someone wants it, of course. So we'll see how we go. I will recycle it if it doesn't sell. 2 seconds, 1 second. Any bids? Sometimes people do jump in right at the end. But no, that one didn't sell. So we'll leave that one cycle for a while, and if it does sell, I will put a comment underneath, perhaps pin a comment to say when it sold, or if I decided just to scrap it. But I don't think I'll scrap that motor, as I mentioned earlier. That motor there is such a beautiful motor to have running. I'll probably use it for something. Alright, so that was the first one. The next one, we still haven't had any bids. There's 43 minutes left, so I'll log back in just to watch the end of that. It's had 50 views. There are 7 watches, so there's a chance someone will jump on that at the end. Here's hoping. And let's just have a peek at the last one that doesn't finish for nearly an hour. It's up to $172 for those 6 valves. I didn't think there was any more in it, but it's gone from $140 to $172 just this morning. So just under an hour left. But we'll watch these first ones here, the pair of 6 GW8s, and then we'll tune in for the final of that one. Hopefully we get a bit more bidding action. And now we have 30 seconds left on these 2 valves. Still no bids. I think there was, what did I say, 7 watches. There'd been 50 views. It's entirely possible someone could jump out of the shadows at the last minute here. 7 watches might mean that there's 6 people that have got these valves and are curious to see what they make. And there may be one buyer, who knows. 8 seconds, 7. We'll see if they sell. Everyone cross their fingers. I'd like to get a bid on these. 1 second. Automatic bids maybe. What have we got? No bids. Okay, so I'll put them in the shop as well. Actually, no, I was going to say I'll leave these cycle on eBay and add a buy it now for $50. But I have the advantage that I don't have to store them away until they sell. I can actually put them in the shop for $50. And if they actually sell through the shop, then I can just duck back into eBay and cancel the listing, and that way it doesn't actually cost me any fees. But I think we'll leave them out there for the world to see. And there was a few watches on them. I have seen these 6GW8s sell before, and some of them have made this sort of money, so I reckon we'll snag a buyer on these. Okay, we've got about, I think, 15 minutes left on the other ones. They haven't gone up anymore, but they're at a really good price now. I'm very happy if I don't get any snipers, but we'll watch the end and see what happens. So getting down to 30 seconds to go now on these valves. There's been no more action, but 8 bids, 172.50, and we had 247 views, 25 watches, 20 seconds to go. I would be very surprised if they went any higher, actually, because when I did a bit of a search, there was some selling cheaper than this, a fair bit cheaper, actually. So happy with this price, but let's just watch to the end, because strange things can happen on eBay. 4 seconds, 3, 2, 1. Any final bids? No, that's our final price, 172.50. That is awesome. That makes this whole box lot of, well, 2 boxes was there, of e-waste well and truly profitable. I'll have to see where they've got to go, and I'll package them up. So here we are back at our original list from the first video, and I've just done a few little calculations. We didn't get our 50 for the reel-to-reel parts, but I only allowed 100 for all those valves, and I did some calcs here. We got 172 for the 6 of them, less fees, which I'm working on around about 15%. So we got $150 for 6, and we still had the other ones, which I do expect will sell for 50. So that means our valves were actually $200. So that's going to add another 100 to this list here, so 450 bucks all up for 2 boxes of e-waste that we're going to be throwing out. That's not bad. I've got some pretty cool stuff, and you can see how I use eBay really well here as a business tool. Even though we only had success from one of these 3 auctions, that one in particular has boosted these figures enormously, and I still think we'll get some return from the other ones. So thanks for watching me and my notepad again, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this one. Again, some nice vintage e-waste, and it just shows you why I love getting people dropping in e-waste from sheds, and why we like cleaning out sheds as part of our business. You just never know what's going to be in the next box. So this is giving you a little bit of insight in how I'm collecting the e-waste to keep it at a landfill, to make sure it ends up where it's wanted. So those 6 amplifier valves will go to someone's collection. They might be used in an amplifier or something. We keep them in the circle of life. They don't get thrown out. They get valued and loved by someone, and I make some good money out of it. So it's a win-win-win all the way around. I do love what I do. I hope you guys are enjoying the journey. We'll catch you in the next video. Bye for now.